I don't want this to become some kind of white savior thing. I mean, it's not, it can't be what me and my 12 viewers are going to do. But it's Black History Month and we are a football channel. So I figured let's take a look at some of the black football players that have impacted my life growing up. How I played the game, how I watched the game, how I saw the game. Welcome back to episode 5 of Colin's Caffeine Recap. Now, I got this idea because I was fortunate enough to be asked to come on stream again last night with Errol and the lads on the Red Cartel. And with it being Black History Month, what we done was we created like a tier list of Black British Premier League era footballers and where we think they rank within these tiers. Everything from John Barnes to now Bukayo, Saka, Rio Gamoa, right? Another reason I was so appreciative to come on is because I was the only white guy on the panel. Some people may think, oh, that's crazy. Why was he even on there? So, but football's football, man. If you can play, you can play. Do you know what I mean? No one should care where you're from. If you play and make people happy, that's all that matters. And I grew up in an area of North London that, if you ask anyone, was predominantly a black community. And it's where I spent all of my days growing up and where all my friends lived. And it allowed me to be exposed to the culture secondhand, the music, the food, the friendships, the sense of community without dealing with any of the bad stuff, which is the discrimination that you get off the bat just purely because you're a different color. So I had a sheltered experience into what life is like. I got to see all the good stuff and I didn't have to see all the bad. So because of that, I'm no stranger to giving flowers to people who have excelled in their field, no matter what it may be, if they are from any sort of ethnic background, because the disadvantage that you immediately face is so unjust and unfair, but also so strongly against you that it is powerful when people excel. And the comments on the video since it went up yesterday, some of them are ridiculous. You know, when we're going to see the best white Premier League 11? Who cares? It's Black History Month. Why you got to jump in and comment? I don't know, man. It gets me angry. So yeah, I wanted to do like a quick 5-6 minute kind of chat. Not a long one today. Honestly, it's because my phone's dying and I don't want to lose out on this sunshine that's coming through, of some of the players that changed my ideas of football. Or not even changed my ideas of football. Like, I thought I enjoyed football, and then these guys came along and I realized I really enjoyed football. From when I started watching all the way to now, where I'm currently watching in my mid-30s. And I play football casually twice a week. Are there players now that impact what I try and do on the pitch at this grand old age? So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. We're just going to go over a few players that I remember watching who really kind of made a difference for me. So where else can we start other than with Arsenal? And where else can we start other than Ian Wright? This man, if you were to link together football and happiness, Ian Wright's picture would be there. It would just be Ian Wright, you know, in that mid-90s with that big smile, that gold tooth. And he was just, as an Arsenal fan as well, it was extra special because he was a nightmare for opponents. He was a nightmare for defenders. I mean, he's the perfect example for what we talk about of fighting through adversity, because unlike Eze, where obviously he was passed over by however many academies, Wrighty's career was done. It was done. He was, correct me if I'm wrong, he was too busy having fun with his mates. And he was playing Saturday League, Sunday League, whatever it was in the mid-80s, before he eventually got picked up at 22 years old. Not only then to get a move to Arsenal, but to get a move to Arsenal be the top scorer in the division, make appearances for England, win the league with Arsenal, win cups with Arsenal, and go on to be one of the most loved people in the entirety of English football. There was, even when people hated Wrighty, they loved Wrighty at the same time. It wasn't just a straight, it was never, excuse the phrase, but it was never black and white. It was never just, I hate him, that's it. You could probably find maybe 2-3 people. But everyone, Wrighty was just a lovable character. And the way he played the game, with so much pace, so much energy, he was adding tricks into the game. The goals that he scored, the way he moved with the ball, it was a joy to watch, and it was a nightmare for other people. He's the only footballer, I think I was maybe 7 years old, and I had I can't really call it an action figure, but I had an Ian Wright figure, where me and my mum had to print the name and the number on the back of the shirt, like this tiny little name and number. If I was ever to say, did I have a hero growing up? Especially when you're younger. As you get older, you start to look at people who are more within the fields in which you're going into, or you look at family members that have already been there, always been there for you. And when you're younger, you look at superstars that you admire. Ian Wright was that. Ian Wright was my absolute hero. So yeah, he was the man when I first started watching Arsenal, and it was great. It was a great experience. Who else? Who's on the back of this shirt? My God, Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry was something. He was exceptional, but he was also wasn't normal. You shouldn't be that tall, but move that light. Also be that quick and have such a delicate touch. And the things he was doing week in, week out, he was making people look amateur. I watched a video today, actually, and there was 2 people that described it best. I think it was Merson and Shearer. And Merson said every time he played, he looked like a 20-year-old playing in an under-13s game. That's how easy he made it look. And Alan Shearer said that himself, Shearer, was a great goal scorer. But Henry was a great goal scorer, and he was also a scorer of great goals. He would always score great goals. And he's to become, 90% of people say that he is the greatest player that the Premier League has ever seen. I've still never seen anyone kind of do things the way that he did it. So speaking of 2 players at Arsenal who kind of really adapted and changed how I looked at the game and how I played the game, Ian Wright being that main influence, it brings me on to Ronaldinho. I want to talk about Ronaldinho. It's not British, it's not the Premier League. Man, he made me fall in love with football, That man made me fall in love with football. He just loved the game. He just loved the game. He is my favorite player of all time. Ronaldinho is my favorite player of all time. And when he kind of burst through at Barcelona, well, when he got his move from PSG to Barcelona, I was 13, 14 years old. I remember getting my first pair of R10 Tiempos, and everyone would get the white and gold ones, and I had gold and white. I was like, these are the best boots I've ever had in my life. And I honestly thought I was him, man. I thought I was him on the pitch. I think the Neymar-Ronaldinho debate needs to stop, because without Ronaldinho, there's no Neymar, man. There's no Neymar without Ronaldinho. He made him. He's one of the most enjoyable players to watch. To get a standing ovation from Real Madrid fans in the Bernabeu. One of the most ridiculous things that will ever happen in a game of football. And speaking of great Brazilians, Ronaldo, R9, the original. Man, I was growing up when I started watching football. I used to watch Football Italia on a Saturday and see him playing for Inter Milan. And he made football look so ridiculously easy. Another great player that I want to mention. Someone that didn't make it onto the tier list yesterday. We didn't talk about him. Now I think, and just give me a second. Any Arsenal fans watching this, give me a second. There's always that talk of who's the best defender in the Premier League ever. Is it Rio? Is it John Terry? Is that your best pairing? If Ledley King didn't have the injuries he had, he'd be the best defender in Premier League history. Very potentially one of the best defenders ever. I thought he was great. And it hurt me that he was at Spurs. Really hurt me that he was at Spurs. Just a phenomenal player. And from what I've heard, I've never met him. I'd love to. He's also just a phenomenal stand-up guy. So, Ledley King, one of the original ball-playing defenders, comfortable on it. Just a class act. Now, I said this is going to be a quick video, so I'm going to keep it as a quick video. I want to talk about a couple of players that are playing right now. Obviously, Bukayo Saka. The only thing holding him back is the trophies. He only has an FA Cup under his belt. And was he even starting when we won that? He was just a young kid. He was still 19 years old, kind of staking his claim in the team. Now he's a different gravy. He's a different gravy. I mean, was it 25% of his England matches he scored in and got a man of the match? Like, he's no joke. He's no joke. He is the next big thing. Like, as what people thought a couple of years ago, he is the next big thing. He's that good. He's gonna be that good. Now we just need the trophies to back it up. And he's a class act. He is a class act. You see him at every one of those England arrivals. Obviously, they know the staff and everyone's like, hey, how you doing? And they talk to him and they spud him. And he makes sure he hugs almost everyone. Maybe he's just a hugger, but he seems to, every time he sees that person, he's so happy that he's seeing that person again. That person means so much to him. And you can tell he understands and how grateful he is to be in the position that he's in. Bukayo Saka is a class act, man. Someone else didn't get a mention on the list, and obviously because we could only mention so many, was Miles Lewis-Skelly. Miles Lewis-Skelly, man, burst onto the scene like Micah Richards did, didn't it? Miles Lewis-Skelly is a baller, and he is physical. Do not forget that he is 18 years old. Is he 19 now? I don't know. We're just going to say 18. 18 years old. Having to come into a team way before expected because of injuries and fitting in the way he did. And then when these players came back from injury, he was too good. He was not getting moved from that team. This is his position now. This season, I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's some sort of limit in minutes in their contracts. He's going to be on a developmental contract, being a youth player. But Miles, a great player. He defends like an old school player. There's no frills. There's no glitter to his game. He wants to get on the ball and play simple football. The foundations are strong. He's going to be a great player moving forward. All right, like I said, I wanted to make this quick video. I'm pretty sure my phone right now filming this is on about 2% battery, so it's going to die any minute. But those are some players that affected the way in which I played the game of football and watched the game of football and enjoyed the game of football in a positive sense, and players that now are still affecting how I look at the game and how I analyze the game and how I try to do things myself. But yeah, as always, appreciate you sitting in and listening to my rants while I drink a cup of coffee. As always, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.